two videos to react to today, guys. The first one we have is the Taoiseach Simon Harris talking about the Gardai Recruitment at iPass centres. Of course, Script Media asked Micheál Martin about it yesterday, how it was absolutely insane and they shouldn't be recruiting at iPass centres. This one's going to be crazy. The second video is Joe Rogan talking about the woke mind virus with Tucker Carlson. So stay tuned, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Let me know other video ideas to react to. If you guys want me to react to any other political situations in Ireland or abroad, let me know and I'll get straight to it. So let's listen to the first one, guys. Let's listen to Simon Harris.
You believe that An Garda Síochána should be holding recruitment events at iPass centres? Do you think that's an appropriate way to go about the Garda's recruitment strategy?
No, I think people who are living in, well, I suppose two things. People who are living in iPass centres by their very nature should be there on a temporary basis. Some people who are there will have a right to stay in our country in due course, will be regularised, will be very welcome in our country, and then of course can apply to work in Ireland. And indeed many people, many migrants to our country could go on to be very excellent members of An Garda Síochána, and they'd be very welcome to do so as current members of An Garda Síochána are.
So for those who don't know, you are actually allowed to, and any member of your family is allowed to apply for the guards, even if you're an iPass centre or like a refugee or somebody of that kind of status, which is kind of crazy because it should be at least an Irish citizen or someone that's able to work here, because, you know, there could be an issue of security there. You know, if the Gardaí have some sort of spy or, you know, terrorist member or something in the actual Gardaí, that would not be good at all, right? Obviously. I mean, I'm just speaking the obvious here, guys, but you know what I mean. So, yeah, kind of crazy. So, yeah, at least Micheál Martin doesn't agree with it. So, I was actually wrong, guys. Micheál Martin wasn't talking about this one. It actually was the Garda Commissioner. Okay, Drew Harris, Simon Harris, Drew Harris. I mean, they're all from the same playbook. You know, it doesn't even matter if I get it wrong. Micheál Martin, Simon Harris, Drew Harris, Leah Varadkar, they're all from the same woke Marxist left. Let's be honest, guys. Liberal. So, let's keep it going.
Too. But there'll also be many people in an iPass centre who won't have a right to be here in the longer term. And the Minister for Justice is speeding up the process of making sure that those people get a yay or an A more quickly. And as they get an A more quickly, need to leave our country more quickly. Therefore, I think it would be a peculiar location for one, and I would imagine there's many more better locations. I'm all in favour of, by the way, diversification in the Gardaí, people who come to our country and make our country their home.
Yeah, again, there should be no diversity in the Gardaí or diversity hires. Like, if you're getting stabbed and killed, you know, you're getting killed, and then you ring the Gardaí, please, send somebody, and they send, well, we're sending our two female lesbian officers. I'm going to be like, no, send the mortician. You know, like, I just, like, you know, I want, when I ring the guards, I want, like, big, jacked, armed men with, like, handguns and, like, rifles to show up, you know, like, especially if there's a stabbing or a shooting or something, you know what I mean? Like, just, like, with the Gardaí, guys, there has to be a sense of accountability, professionality. You know, a lot of those times, it's like, oh, man. It's like, you know, you have to have guys with weapons and stuff to show up to actually help you if you're getting attacked. Like, not some fly-by-night organization. Okay, this is serious stuff, guys. We're dealing with people's health and lives here.
They have an important role to play in the Guards. Of course they can. But people in the iPass centre, and many people won't have a right to actually reside here in the long term, and therefore I think I'd give it a futile exercise.
Would you intend to follow that up then with the Garda Commissioner about
I think from your own inquiries yesterday, the Garda Commissioner himself, it looks to me from your exchanges with him, it's likely to follow this up also.
Do you think that the rules should be changed about the Garda application eligibility criteria so that people who are within the international protection system until they are naturalized cannot apply to join? Because again, under the current rules, it's technically possible that under certain criteria asylum seekers can join. Do you think that those rules should be changed?
I'd have to familiarise myself with them, and these are obviously operational matters for the Gardaí, but obviously if you have a right to stay in our country and you have a right to work in our country, you're very welcome here and you're welcome to apply for a Garda Síochána. If you don't have a right to stay in our country and you don't have a right to work here, well then obviously you can't.
Very much. I mean, pretty straightforward, but like at the moment, guys, people that are not able to, you know, to work in the country are able to apply for the Gardaí. I mean, it just seems like very lax. You know, they got rid of the 20 push-ups, 20 sit-ups. They actually relaxed on the fitness test, the running. You know, I don't want to flip a military kind of police force like the Gardaí, like the American police, some crazy sort of, you know, shooting everyone. You know, that's not great either. Okay, I think the Gardaí are somewhat, professional sometimes. There's certain odd members I've talked to, detectives that are amazing. Then I know that the regular Gardaí sometimes can be not as professional. Of course, that's kind of just funding and training, honestly. But it makes sense, guys, to not have people working in an area so insanely stringent, of testing and, being professional like the Gardaí guys. Like, there has to be a degree of, professionality there. You can't just hire anybody in off the street, like, just it's crazy. But the second video we have here, guys, is Joe Rogan talking about the woke Marxist left. This one's going to be a good one. Shout out to Tucker Carlson as well. And yeah, let's hear it, guys. We obviously know the woke sort of thing is dying, completely dying off. The peak was like 2022, 2023, but now in 2025, the spirit of Donald Trump and that kind of thing, hopefully, is pushing over to Europe, and we can kind of see more people turning away from the left, moving more right, conservative, and more just sensible and common sense, in my personal opinion. So let's hear it.
Woke is clearly a cult. It's a mind virus. And I think that it's so trite to call it that now. It's like whatever this thing is, this leftism, this Marxist sort of ideology that's waving its flag and indoctrinating people in this country. It's very similar to all kinds of religions. It's very similar to fundamentalist religions that have always existed, in that everybody has to believe very specific things and you can't differ. You can't differ from the doctrine. And
here's another way to think about it that I've been meditating on this a lot. Yes, religion, politics, they're all kind of melding. It's hard to know where one ends and another begins.
Right.
So maybe a simpler and more useful way to think about it is truth or falsehood, lying or honesty. Maybe just assess everything that way. Is someone lying?
Right.
I don't care what your justification for it is. Lying about vaccines. They've lied a lot about vaccines. And they've done it, I think, in most cases because they feel like they're serving some greater good.
Right. Well, that's the narrative, right?
We can't tell people that there are vaccine injuries because they won't get vaccines, which are good for a big population. I understand the thinking. But how about this? You can't participate in lying. Yeah. You can't lie.
You can't lie, and you can't...
Period, though. You can't lie about anything. Just don't lie about anything. Try to tell the truth all the time. If you can't say something that's true, just don't say it.
Right.
You're not required to say everything you think, obviously, and you shouldn't say everything you think. But you should never lie. And if you just stick with that, like, you get pretty quickly back to reason and order, don't you?
Yeah.
Like I was saying even today, in my vlog that I did, it almost seems like, a lot of people that were liberal, libertarian, or whatever, more, pretty centrist, they've pushed everyone so right because the liberals, the woke left, this kind of thing have just pushed everyone so crazy because now they just seem like it's insane. They're so cruel. They cancel you for nothing. They blackmail you. They do this. They lie en masse. It just seems like completely unfair. So that's why everyone is moving more right-wing, honestly. The whole world is moving more right, guys. Like, plain and simple. It's not anymore the situation where, the left are ruling over everybody. Not at all, guys. It's actually the opposite. The left have lost a ton of power. Their policies have become way too crazy, way too, insanely, crazy, and just, blackmailing people. And it's just awful, guys. 10 out of 10, it's awful. So it's great to see that, the right are kind of taking control now, at least for a while. You want to see people with some common sense, preserving the culture of Ireland, preserving the culture of these overseas countries like the US and Canada, not turning them into some liberal woke shithole, LGBT sort of ideology stuff. And certain things are okay, but they're just pushing the boundaries so much now, it's impossible to support any of it. Plain and simple. It's impossible to support a lot of the policies that they put into place. It just seems like everything now is crazy, man. Everything now is just pushed too far, too far. It's a Marxist ideology. They want to get rid of religion. They want to get rid of everything. They want to get rid of, prosecuting people for being illegal, like in LA, like in Ireland. It's just crazy. There's riots that are happening now. I mean, shit show, guys.
No, you're making complete sense. And I think that this is the problem when people have information and power above other people.
Well, right. That's
right.
For sure.
Which is the problem of governments, which is also the problem of cult leaders.
Yeah, it is like a cult. It's clearly a cult, guys. It's like the whole vegan thing. Like, Is it good? Is it healthy to be vegan? Maybe. Don't kill as many animals or whatever. But then it turns into a cult, and it's like, if you don't follow our cult, then we're just never talking to you. We're going to hate you, and, you know, we're going to attack you. And it's just violent. It just gets violent then. So let me know your thoughts, guys. Obviously, nobody knows what the hell is going on with the Gardai recruitment. I mean, it just seems like anyone can join up. You know, you could be from flipping Timbuktu. You could join, and stay away from the woke left, guys, the woke liberals. You know, that sort of movement is just, it's dying, and a good riddance to a long, long time coming. If you guys want to support me, hit the join link underneath the video. Become a member today for just the price of a coffee, €5 a month. And I'll see you all in the next one, guys. Peace.